Hello and welcome to the All Round Coaching podcast, episode number 68. This is for those people that want better results but don't know how to get them. So I'm going to do a bite-sized podcast just to let you know that the one actual way that you can get your way to better results is through your nutrition. Now, I'm not going to overcomplicate things, but I'll give you the tip that I did, and obviously it worked wonders for me in how I actually achieved my physique goals. Little backstory on me, obviously I've trained and since I was about 12, 13, trained for years, but obviously I neglected my nutrition. I wondered why I didn't get anywhere, and obviously the nail does the nail drop? Or is it the pin drop? The light bulb moment comes anyway, where it actually clicks with you. So if you've got a coach or you've seen it online, you've probably seen you've been asked to weigh your food and you're wondering why. You think it's going to take ages, it's going to be time consuming, and it sounds complicated. It actually isn't. The fact that obviously you're putting barriers in the way to stop yourself getting results despite spending years probably spinning your wheels. So I have put a post out on Instagram about this as well if you do need to refer back to it and you want some visuals. But for those people similar to me, if you are a shorter person especially, if you're eyeballing your foods and you've no idea of the calorie intake, you don't know if you're eating in a surplus, you don't know if you're eating at maintenance, and you don't know if you're eating in a deficit. This can be frustrating because not only is fat loss extremely slow if you're smaller, you don't even know if you're ever in a deficit if you don't know what you're having. So like me, obviously I was spinning my wheels for years, didn't really get anywhere and wondered how I wasn't getting anywhere because I was training hard 6 to 7 days a week, smashing a load of cardio. Little did I know I was over consuming. I was having too many calories for what my body actually needs. So I didn't actually make any results there. A lot of people think, oh, I'll eyeball it. I'll have a teaspoon of peanut butter. I'll put some oil in a pan. I'll have a handful of this. And they think that, oh, there's not much in that. They're guessing what they're having. They're not even knowing how many calories are in foods. And oil's a good example. Not many people actually take this into consideration when they're cooking. So if you're having, say, a splash of oil and you think, oh, it's not that much, it could be 195 calories. If you weigh it out 10 mil, which is still a decent amount, it's 84 calories. So if you're doing this each day throughout the week, it is going to add up because it is your weekly total that is going to matter and obviously determine if you're in a deficit as well. This isn't to say that you have to give up the foods that you enjoy. Just because you're reducing calories, it doesn't mean you have to be miserable and take all the foods out you do actually enjoy eating. I always advocate 80% of whole foods, 20% fun foods, and make sure that you're eating things that you like, not what you've seen on Instagram or not diet foods, quote unquote, that you think you need to be eating. You just need to be aware of your portion sizes and your calorie intake. This is going to support your goal. So like I said, if it is a fat loss goal that you've got, you need to be in a deficit. Now, no one in the world, unless you've got serious medical issues, is adverse to a calorie deficit. If you're in a deficit, you're going to lose fat. If you're not in a deficit, you're not going to lose fat. Now, this is what I did. I never considered calories. I always thought, oh, I'll eat healthy, and it was always Monday to Friday, and then obviously come weekends, I'd be snorting waffles, overeating because A, I'd trained that much, I'd brought my output up so high that my appetite needed to match that as well. So not only was I over consuming, I just didn't get anywhere with my results. Once I started weighing and logging my foods, knowing what I'm having, obviously having a calorie target set, I knew that I was in a deficit, and this is where my real results came in. And I'd probably say from 2019 onwards, my physique changed massively. I could get lean, I was building muscle, and obviously I could maintain a lot better. My relationship with food improved over them years as well. So not just fixated on being lean all the time, because it is quite difficult when you're a small person and life does happen. So I've been in phases where I'm at a surplus, I'm at a deficit, I'm at maintenance. But one thing I have kept up for me, and it's not to say that everybody has to do this, if I want things to be a little bit more consistent and accurate, I will log my foods, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It actually helps because it removes any decision fatigue. I'm not sat there thinking, what am I having today? What am I going to have? Have I overeaten? Have I undereaten? Have I got enough protein, fibre, carbs, fats in me? I'm not going to know this if I don't really log my food. And especially for beginners, if you've no idea on food and calories or how, like what to eat, and if you're eating enough protein, fibre, carbs or fats, then if you do log your food and weigh it out, you're going to have a better idea of this. Now, I have put videos out on YouTube of how to actually weigh your food, which is quite easy. I always say to people, get some digital scales, set them to 0, put them to grams, and it is so much easier. So if you put your food on there and it's set to 0, once you remove the food, it's going to say minus X amount, which might be minus 27 grams. That's the amount of food you got. Just because it says minus doesn't mean it's in a negative. It's just a little bit easier than trying to balance all your plate and your food on the scales. And obviously you're just removing that, so it's always going to measure it out. Same with sauces. If you put the bottle on the scales, press 0. Once you've poured it on, put the bottle back on, and it'll have the negative amount of what it actually weighs. So go and have a look on my YouTube if you are unsure how to actually track your food, how to weigh it, and obviously your results will better. If you do need any help or you are struggling, online coaching is the best way for you to actually get some results, get accountability, get education, and not only get the results that you want, but sustain them over a longer period of time. So hopefully this has been helpful. Bite-sized podcasts are there just for little bits of information and ones that are useful to people that are struggling with the results and don't actually get anywhere. So join me next time for what probably will be a longer podcast, and I'm going to go over consistency and the importance of it as well. So thank you for listening, and I will be back soon.